Good evening, everyone. What is going on at the SEMO Law Enforcement Academy? First, the university replaced its director, who'd only held that position since last fall.
And now we're learning someone associated with the academy is under criminal investigation. Those details contained in this letter sent by Cape Girardeau County's top prosecutor. Now here's a closer look at the letter. You can see the name of the person who received it has been blacked out, but the rest of it has not. Written by Cape County Prosecuting Attorney Mark Welker, the letter informs someone connected to the academy they are under criminal investigation and they have the right to consult with legal counsel before speaking to law enforcement or during any questioning. The letter also calls on the person to preserve any documents, records, electronically stored information, or other materials relevant to the matter, and reminds them that destroying, altering, or concealing potential evidence may have legal consequences. Now, notice of this criminal investigation comes just days after we learned the university removed Academy Director Dane Stosing and replaced him with Interim Director Dr. Brian Donovan. Allegations of misconduct at the academy first came to light back in January, when Cape Girardeau Police Chief Adam Glick temporarily suspended his employees from teaching there. The allegations are related to the administration of the Missouri Peace Officer License Exam back in December. Cadets must pass that exam with a 70% or higher to become a licensed peace officer in Missouri. Now, I've been investigating the misconduct allegations involving the academy for some time now. Look for my new reporting in the days and weeks to come. And if you've been impacted by what's happening at the academy, I'd like to hear from you. You can send me an email at the address you see on your screen. It's simple, Kathy.Sweeney@KFES12.com.